Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, if memory gets any more expensive, I'm going to forget the punchline to this joke. You deserve my help. Follow me. So the Nintendo Cartridge Society deserves my help with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including the Switch becoming Nintendo's best-selling hardware of all time. And then on Thursday, we're kicking off Resident Evil month for real this time with a discussion of the GameCube classic Resident Evil remake with friend of the show, Jeremy Schmidt. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. It feels great to be officially in Resident Evil month.
Yeah. Previously, we were unofficially in Resident Evil month. Resident Evil month, as everyone knows, starts like 10 days into February.
Yes.
And we'll go about 10 days into March, right?
Yeah, barring any other...
Who knows?
Announcements,
We've
presentations.
got 4 great Resident Evil episodes planned.
Yep.
And
the worst thing that could happen at this point, now that
Yes.
we're officially in it, is that Resident Evil month gets extended. It wouldn't be delayed anymore. It would just become longer.
Yes, yeah, that could happen. We don't know. We don't control these things.
We don't.
Mark, let me ask you this.
Yes.
It's a question that's been bopping around in my head for a little bit. And I want the audience to weigh in on this, because I think we have, I've posed this question to a couple different people, but they've all been of the age 40 or higher. Okay, who are the three most important Star Wars characters who are not human or robot?
Okay.
So we're talking aliens. Who are the 3 most important alien characters in Star Wars?
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm happy to talk about what important means, but I'm going to let you decide what Star Wars means.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yoda.
Uh-huh. Yoda.
Okay.
Yoda is... There are 2 characters that I feel like are locks.
Okay.
Yoda is one of the locks.
Uh-huh. I feel man, on the spot, I'm having trouble even like thinking
of any other Star Wars characters.
Star Wars characters.
Well, so, I'll tell you the other lock, because I'm sure he's just eluding you, but Chewbacca.
Oh, yes, of course.
Right? So
of course.
Chewbacca, Yoda, they feel like 1 and 2 sort of undeniable.
Yeah, totally.
But I feel like the answer to number 3 is like a generational thing,
For
right?
sure.
And
are you talking about Wicket? Are you talking about Yaddle? Are you talking about Jar Jar Binks?
Right, yes.
Are you talking about Baby Yoda?
Yeah. Great candidates.
Yeah.
Or say you're a extended universe like novel legends head. Maybe it's Thrawn.
Oh my gosh, right. He's not human.
He's not human?
No. Wow, that's a good question.
Would you like to submit formally your number 3?
Yeah, the third. Well, please remind me what the question. Most important?
Most important.
And important could
Yes.
mean anything I want it to mean.
It can mean anything you want it to mean, but like I would imagine that it means, is like the most closely related to your conception of what Star Wars is.
Oh, I see.
Right? Like what alien character is Star Wars not Star Wars without?
Yeah, I am going to say Greedo.
Greedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, great answer. I feel like most of the time that I've asked people...
No, I
Yeah.
take it back. I'm unlocking that answer, and I'm
Yes.
locking in a new answer.
Yes.
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt, I think, is the
Yeah.
common 40-plus answer. But like, I think a really easy case to be made for Jar Jar Binks.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, very consequential.
A consequential figure with the
Uh-huh.
fall of the Republic and the right. He grants emergency powers to
Yes.
Senator Palpatine.
Yep.
Chancellor, I suppose, at that point. But yes, if you listener, if you have what is your number 3?
Yeah,
or
that's a good question.
I want to hear all 3, because if anyone bumps Chewbacca or Yoda out of the 3, I want to know.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
Email us Nintendo Cartridge Society
At
at gmail.com. All right.
Ooh, I love that. I'm really going to be noodling over it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I really do think that, because again, I asked a bunch of people this today, and everyone I asked was over 40. And so like I think the most interesting answer I got for number 3 was Admiral Akbar. But like everything is original trilogy. No one wants to, no one's like Maz Kanata.
Right.
Yeah,
who from the sequel trilogy? I guess like Porgs as a
right, or
as a concept.
Possibly Babu Frick.
I mean, I'm on the
I
record
know you
saying
don't like Babu
I
Frick.
don't like
Right,
Babu Frick.
Right. But there aren't that many, like, generally speaking, the movies do not center alien characters outside of Yoda and Chewbacca.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Great question.
Thank you. If you would like to hear us pose more great questions about other things, you can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
That's right, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies together, seeing a movie, and then talking about it. In February, we're going to be talking about Scream 7.
Woo!
And there's also...
And probably in May, we're going to talk about Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, probably.
A contender for one of the 3 most important alien characters in Star Wars.
Yep. Plus, there are a bunch of other previous miniseries on the Patreon that are available. Some of it at the free level, at the 4-bit level. So something for everyone. Head over there. No reason not to sign up.
Yeah, so check that out. Also, no reason not to sign up for the Discord. Although there are some changes coming to Discord next month that we may need to talk about. If like it's still going to be a platform that we use for chatting and stuff.
Well, oh yeah, you're talking about like the requiring facial, like recognition or ID or whatever it is.
Yeah, how do we feel? How do we feel
like,
about that? I saw it and was like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if my limited understanding of the rules are correct, I don't really think it would affect us because we don't have any like not safe for work channels or anything like that.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I think all of our stuff is like family safe, so I don't think that it would be a problem, but yeah, I don't know. I'm open.
Okay, well, in the meantime, though, check out the Discord. Email us if you're not already in there. Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. We will send you an invitation. You can hang out in a family-friendly environment where we only swear when we get really worked up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Every now and then, the language gets
more than your grandma would.
No, like there's a couple darns in there. It's actually very sweet and wholesome. All right, Mark, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Demos. Last week was a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, which means we've got some demos we've been playing and games that we know just a little bit more about than we did after watching that Direct.
Yeah, that's right. So one of the demos that released after that Direct is for Pragmata. And so I downloaded the demo and I played through the scenario twice. It's not that long. It took me about like 25 minutes to play through each time. The first time because I was kind of like figuring it out, and then the second time because I wanted to explore and see. And from reading other people's experiences online, I realized there's still more in the demo, like a hidden enemy and stuff like that I didn't encounter.
Cool.
So
is this the kind of demo where it'll save your progress to carry over? Or is it
no,
just like,
I think it's a really like, I don't even know how much of it is part of the game itself.
Sure.
You start in an area that I'm guessing is created specifically for the demo, and then the other like bigger environment that you explore, I don't know, but it seemed I don't know that whether it's in the game or not. So as far as like the game itself, I thought it was pretty fun. There's like 2 different elements that you're juggling all the time during combat, and that is like there's like a little puzzle element thing. So Diana, is that the name of the...
Diana is the name of the little robot
of the
girl,
little Pragmata. That she is like...
They're called Pragmata?
They are, I believe. I think that's what the trailer was saying. So she's like she can hack things remotely. And so when enemies are coming at you, she can hack them. And what that looks like is like a little like grid that you are like moving through to reach the goal. But at the same time that you're doing that, the enemies are advancing on you. So you're balancing that. And then if you successfully hack it, then they kind of like break open. And so you can do way more damage that way.
Right.
But then at the same time, you're balancing, the enemies are attacking you and they are charging at you. And so you have to be like switching between the two and paying attention to both things.
Yeah.
And
cool.
like your place and everything. I was worried it would be too much because normally I don't love multitasking in games like that. But I found that, like, at least in the demo, both of them were simple enough, but addictive enough that it felt fine trying to like manage both. But it will be interesting to see how they are able to make it not just feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Sure.
So that part I thought it was really fun. Interestingly, the game is $60. So
and not a $70.
Not a $70 game. So makes me think maybe they're really trying to give this a shot. It's a new idea, new IP. It was enough for me to be interested. I think I'm still waiting to see what
is it $60 on all platforms?
I believe that's true, but I don't know for sure. I didn't like look on the PlayStation store to double check myself.
Yeah.
But I still think I want to see like reviews for the entire experience. But the gameplay itself was really fun. And then as far as like performance goes, I play most of my Switch 2 honestly in handheld mode, and I'm also, I would say, generally not that precious about how a game looks. Like I played through The Outer Worlds when it first launched on Switch, and I played it on TV or docked, but it still looked pretty rough at launch. I played Doom, 2016 all the way through on handheld, I think. And I don't know, there was something about this in handheld that I just could not connect with. Like I found it difficult
interesting.
to like kind of like read what was going on in the environment and everything. But the online discourse around handheld mode seems to be pretty positive. So I don't know if it's just a me issue, but I will say docked, it looks good. And especially in comparison, somebody posted a comparison video between the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, or maybe it was like the PlayStation 5 with like performance mode on or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And then the Switch 2 and the Xbox Series S. And the Switch 2 looks better than the Series S does, but doesn't perform when it's docked, but not at a locked frame rate like the Series S is. So docked, I was really impressed. And if I do end up buying this game, I will play it docked primarily, unless the final version turns out to be like better in handheld. I even followed, I was looking on Reddit and stuff, and people had some suggestions on how to make the game look like less blurry in handheld. I turned those on, didn't affect my overall impression of the handheld experience. But
do you need glasses?
Yeah, well, I do need glasses, but that's why handheld mode's so great, is because you can get it right up to your face.
Yeah, of course.
All this to say, I was impressed. This is a game that I was like not really interested at all, and then it was ported to Switch 2, and I'm like, that's interesting. And then
well, not necessarily ported, but is being
brought to
released
Switch 2
simultaneously.
Yeah, and I'm like,
everywhere.
that's interesting. So I've been then to be able to get my hands on it was nice. So yeah, like it was impressive, and then it'll just be interesting to see how the rest of the game holds up to that.
Yeah, game's still a little more than 2 months away, right? Comes out
in
April 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows if there are even like little tweaks to it between now and then.
Yeah, totally.
Well, so because Capcom was on a tear putting out demos for games that are coming out shortly, I checked out the Monster Hunter Stories 3 demo. Part of the reason I did this was Capcom, along with Square Enix, both of these companies are doing big sales right now on the Switch eShop, possibly on the other virtual storefronts as well, but that's where I do the majority of my gaming. So I saw that Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, that bundle was on sale for $20, and I was like,
oh, whoa.
I was like, that's the cheapest I've ever seen that. But why don't I give the Stories 3 demo a try, just because that one looks to me like possibly the best like expression of the Monster Hunter Stories idea, or at least like the most mature expression of it. And see if I like that at all, and before I throw away even $20 on 2 games, right? And the Monster Hunter Stories 3, and I think this is a will carry your progress forward style demo, because it does start right at the beginning, and the graphical style and like presentation of the cutscenes at the beginning of this game are jaw dropping. It is beautiful and bright and colorful, and like the fidelity of this world when it is in these prepackaged sequences is just awe-inspiring. It looks great. It takes a little while to like get to the story that it's telling, but like I don't know, it's in the world of Monster Hunter, you play like a young prince, or you in the prologue, it's like a child version of you, and they bring back an egg that has 2 Rathalos in it, and
Your monsties.
But evidently twin monsters is an ill omen, so the king is supposed to have one of them killed. I don't know if that happened because we get like a time jump, but like, so that's all like very like interesting and cool, and like the lore is very interesting. The character creator getting to that point, really detailed, and like tons of fun options.
I didn't realize that you could personalize your character.
Yeah, like basically all the way, but like in an anime kind of style. Just looking really great. Getting into the actual gameplay though, the performance like takes this huge hit, and like in my experience, both on the TV and then in handheld, like kind of has a like gauzy like filter over it of like lower resolution or something, and like a frame rate that like I'm also not like a hound for these kind of things, but it was just like oof. And I like once I was thumbs on sticks, I was like I could handle it for like 15 minutes before I was like, nope, these games still aren't for me. But if I don't know, you can check it out for yourself.
What is the gameplay of Monster Hunter Stories?
To the point that I was playing,
yeah.
Because I did not engage in any combat.
Right.
But it was just like, what a third person RPG, like JRPG
okay, got it.
is
Yeah.
now, running around and pushing buttons to talk to people. And, like a fun sequence where like, you're riding around on the back of a Rathalos that is like, flying over a lake or something and like aiming for updrafts so you can like get back to the town. Like cool, fun stuff. But just like the second I got into town, it was like all these characters like moving real slow and popping in and stuff.
Interesting.
Just sort of a bummer. And then like, wandered around there for a little bit, like got to the next point where I was supposed to be, and it was just like a parade of new characters that it was introducing in this like cutscene, and every single one has like their name appear on the screen and then like who they are to the main character, and it was like 8 or 9 characters, and I was like, nope, this is too much. Ease me in, game.
Yeah.
So I think that ends my flirtation with Monster Hunter Stories.
Yeah.
As a franchise.
Yeah.
Although Monster Hunter Stories does have Amiibo coming out, so does Pragmata.
Yep, that's right.
Let us never forget. Mark, and then otherwise you and I are just working on games that we have been playing for a little while.
Since I finished Resident Evil Remake, I have turned my attention back to Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And I am, I think like 5 or so hours into the game, maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm at the point where you are taking the train to like Sector 5 to blow up like for your next like big mission.
Yes.
So I spent time in like the slums, did the missions there, like all that.
Followed a cat around.
Yeah, found 3 cats. Did the whole motorcycle chase,
okay, yes.
like an encounter and stuff with Jesse and all that.
That is such a weird chunk of that game. And that motorcycle guy, I believe, is a brand new character.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to recall what this could possibly be like referencing in the original game. Delightful. I thought that entire thing was delightful, but
It's delightful, and it's actually a nice bit of foreshadowing / introducing a game mechanic that will come back at the end.
oh, interesting.
Which, like, when that beat happens in the original game, it's kind of just like an out of nowhere like mini game sequence. It's a lot more established and set
I
up
see.
in this game because Final Fantasy VII Remake is the best at contextualizing the first 4 hours of Final Fantasy VII.
I love whenever you're on the train and you have like and Barrett is always getting into arguments with like Shinra middle
Yes.
management.
Yep.
Like also it is funny seeing it in like full fidelity like this, and they're on the train and it's like, who could possibly be the terrorist that we're looking for? Is it the guy with a gun on his hand?
Right.
And like a giant sword?
And the broadest shoulders you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah.
Won't take those sunglasses off?
And who's always talking, like getting into fights
Right.
with Shinra middle management. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun.
The Sector 5 is such a fun little like bit of storytelling. So are you at Jesse's parents' house yet?
I've already done that.
Oh,
I've already done that. Yeah.
I love that bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just and that story that's not present in the original game, just sort of like fleshing out the world and lives of the
so
Avalanche
much of what
crew.
this game is.
Yeah.
It's like really just like you're getting to know a lot of these characters really well. So yeah, it's been fun.
That's
I
fantastic.
played that dart game.
Yep.
That's
in Seventh Heaven.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
and
that's fun.
That's a good kind of like time waster, and I like how it forces you to kind of discover it, because there's a moment where they go off and have a meeting about this next job that they're going to do, and you can't leave. And so it just tells you like to hang out until
just
somebody
wait till
comes.
Barrett comes
Yeah,
back.
so you're just wandering around the like little bar area, seeing what you can do. And darts is a little game you can play.
Man, you mentioning that like Barrett is like getting up in people's faces, like Shinra middle management faces. I love the way that character is written in Remake, because like it's like about as much bluster as he has in the original, but like it feels so much more like sweaty and insecure in Remake, where it's like he's saying the things that like he believes and is like doing right, in some capacity, but like he is a terrorist,
Right.
like there's a really interesting just like the irony or like the drama inherent in that is actually expressed in this game, which I just think is so awesome.
I will say that as far like when I was talking about Pragmata, I was talking about like the game asking you to like multitask
Yes.
during combat and stuff. And I personally am having a hard time. I don't dislike it or anything, but I don't think that I'm like maximizing the potential of the
the combat system?
combat at this
Yeah.
point, because I like I have not flipped the switch where I'm thinking like I should be switching over to this other character, or I should be like managing their actions and all that kind of stuff. I'm not there yet with it, and so I feel like I'm kind of like missing out on something.
I think that's okay. At this point in the game, I think that's okay. Did you do the combat encounter in Sector 5 yet?
No, I haven't. So
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know if you remember the specifics, but you jump off the train, you're like running around. There's a bunch of surveillance drones and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then you start getting to this area where there's all these like spider webs and some like scorpion looking enemies.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Anyways, that's where I'm at. So I haven't
Gotcha.
actually made it to the Sector 5 reactor yet.
Okay. Yeah, there's I think even still like around then, you're not like to the point where like the game is like demanding that much of you combat wise. And so it'll come about. You'll get there.
Okay.
It's it's so deep that like they make you wade into it slowly. So that's great. Can't wait to keep hearing about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I continue to play Fire Emblem Awakening for the Super NPC Games Club, where we are playing Fire Emblem Awakening. Mark got to the point where Lucina, who is Crom's daughter, the main character's daughter, who's traveled back in time from the future, has revealed herself to be this child, right? And it is at that point that the game like triggers a thing, and all of the kids that you have produced by pairing up your various units and getting them married, that have traveled back in time from the future, appear on the map.
Oh, cool.
And so there's like just this moment where it pops, and they're called paralogs. These little one-off quests, battles that you have to do to recruit those time traveling children. And when I triggered it, 6 of them popped. Like, I have been so meticulous about like getting all these guys paired up, and like really like aiming for specific versions of children that I want. And it was just so cool and overwhelming to just be like, it zooms out to the map and it's just like, wham,
That's
wham,
fun.
wham,
That's
wham.
fun.
So
It's
I'm
like that
having.
moment in Endgame when all the portals
It
open
kind of
up.
is, yeah. And like they're all such good characters. Like Fire Emblem tends to, I feel like a lot of Fire Emblem characters are just like good and fun and interesting. But I don't know, there's something very cool about all of the kids, all of the second generation characters in Fire Emblem Awakening, and I recruited my first one after Lucina, whose name is Owain, who's awesome and so cool, and but also like kind of corny and makes jokes that no one gets, and then people are like, huh, and he's like, and then it's just cool after that. I don't know. I'm having a blast with this game.
What do you have to do to recruit them?
So usually it's just you go into like their paralog chapter, and they're in some sort of battle scenario, and you have to just talk to them, get either Crom or their mother to them to talk to them, and then they join the team.
Yeah. Cool.
It's super great. I love it. Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
First, we'll check in with Nintendo Music, and the update this week is Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Yes.
A great soundtrack to a great game.
A soundtrack that I don't know very well to a game that I've never played.
Yeah, I think you would. I think you would like Origami King. It's a fun game, but yeah, a very good soundtrack. Also, last Tuesday, Nintendo added the games Yoshi and Balloon Kid to the Game Boy Nintendo Classics app.
Yoshi, a little bit of a nothing burger as far as I'm concerned.
I think of it so much as like a Game & Watch type thing, isn't it? Because you're like balancing or like catching.
I mean, it's more like a falling block puzzle.
Oh, okay.
But just like your control is at the bottom of the board instead of like you're not controlling the pieces as they fall. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's never been a game that I've enjoyed that much. Balloon Kid, though, very interesting. It is like sort of a sequel to Balloon Fight. But has this really like kind of rich like adventure mode, story mode, whatever. There's no story, but just like of these pre-written levels that have like platforming, and you have to like collect balloons in like certain orders and avoid enemies. And it's got this really fun mechanic where I played a little bit of this last week as well. Where like you can push the B button to let go of your balloons so that you just like fall to the earth, and then you're like walking and jumping down there.
Oh.
And then to re-pump up your balloons, you just push down on the D-pad as many times as you can. And they do that like inflation animation like in the original Balloon Fight. And it's just cool where you have to like make these decisions about like your mobility and like, do you want 2 balloons so that like one of them can pop and you can still stay in the air? Do you have enough time to pump up 2 balloons? That kind of thing. It's just a cool, fun game. Totally recommend everyone at least check out Balloon Kids.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And with every Game Boy release on Nintendo Classics, we come closer to Mole Mania. So
one step closer to Mole Mania,
just
baby.
Another reason to celebrate. Other new releases this week on Thursday, February 12th. Quite a bit comes out. Mario Tennis Fever is released. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, a remake of the third game, I believe, in the Yakuza series, is released. The Joy-Con 2, Light Purple and Light Green are released.
Sure.
And
They sure are.
And then Tokyo Scramble, that game that was announced in the partner showcase, where you fall into the pits of underneath Tokyo, and there's dinosaurs that aren't called dinosaurs.
They're called Xenos.
They're called Xenos. Are down there, and you have to
probably Xynos, right?
I think they called them Xenos in the
what are we doing
in the direct.
This is broken. The system's broken, Mark.
And apparently, so I said it on Thursday. I think this game is fascinating. I have pre-ordered it. I'm going to play at least some of Tokyo Scramble.
Great.
And apparently, there's like a whole story involving like high school kids, and her brother is like a dancer or something. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Can't wait to discover exactly what is going on there.
And this is also the game that has game share, and you can like play together online, but not in the way you're thinking, because it's like different players have controlled different aspects.
Yeah,
of,
one
like,
person controls the
camera,
camera, one person controls the character, and
right,
then two
like
other
mouse
things.
cursors or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Fascinating. I find this game endlessly fascinating.
And I'll pick up Mario Tennis Fever so that we can.
We can game share
we can
both
game
of these
share
back
that,
and forth. On Thursday, Dear Me I Was is
Yes.
released on Switch. So this was briefly a Switch 2 exclusive that you and I had both played. It's like a 40-minute narrative experience.
Yeah, largely wordless narrative experience, sort of about like what art means to you as you age, and what like what you give up for perceived happiness.
Yeah.
And I found it to be a really like moving and sort of like understated, just a story and emotional experience. And like there's a beat at the end that like it was sort of jaw dropping for me. I really liked it, and now it's available on regular old Switch. And it was something like $3 or $4, right?
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was really cheap. So that's a game that I recommend.
And then on Friday, February 13th, Reanimal is released. And this is something that we saw briefly in the partner showcase. This is the new game from the creators or the developers of Little Nightmares. It's another kind of like horror game. So yeah, that's coming out on Friday.
I did just want to add that, I mentioned the Square Enix and Capcom sales earlier this episode, but I took that opportunity to pick up the first Paranormasight game.
Oh, great.
$5.
Yes.
So that is on my list now of games to play. And Resident Evil 0, because it was also 50% off.
Oh,
so
very
I was like,
good.
Hey, man, we just had a blast playing the original Resident Evil. Spoiler for the episode coming out on Thursday. We had fun. But yeah, now I own 0 as well.
I'm imagining it is, but the 0 must be like an HD version as well.
Yeah,
where
it's the same
all that stuff.
sort of treatment. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So, Mark, those are the new releases. Let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, where a performer or a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark. It is Winter Olympics time.
Yes.
How many Olympic games have we podcasted through?
Probably not. Oh, actually, let's see.
So we've been doing this since the end of 2016.
Yeah, so almost 10 years.
Right. So
5.
Sure. Except
Give or take.
Except we didn't do one in 2016, right?
Or
because that would have been.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So 4. 18, 20. No, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean
18, 20, 22, and 24.
Oh, so 5.
So 5.
433. It's about math this time.
It's about math and that I was counting on my fingers. Let's take this Winter Olympics quiz.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the full name of this quiz is, it's kind of sad, but if you score over 4 on this Winter Olympics quiz, you already know more than the typical American. I don't know. I'm guessing that if you score over 4, you already know more than the typical American is not scientific.
Right.
But if we score over 4, we can still feel good about ourselves.
So what do we mean when we say typical American?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Us, I guess.
Okay.
John Q. Public.
Mm-hmm.
Where were the first Winter Olympics held? Lake Placid, New York. Gstaad, Switzerland. I know that's not how you say it, but I'm not going to get this one right either. Chamonix, France, or Innsbruck, Austria.
Let's go with Innsbruck.
That one's not right.
That's
I
not
know
right
because
they have been in Innsbruck.
They
right?
haven't, but I know that one's not where it was first.
You don't think we went back to Innsbruck?
I don't think so.
And Lake Placid, they wouldn't do that because there's the giant alligator that lives there.
Right.
So let's go with Switzerland.
Okay, let's go Switzerland. Oh, it was France.
Oh.
Yeah. But we did a good job of narrowing it down. We did a good job of narrowing it down. What year were they held? 1896, 1900, 1916, or 1924? I think 1896 is out of the
No,
picture.
I think it's going to be the latest.
1924.
I think 24.
Okay, let's lock it in.
That even feels early.
We got it right.
Okay,
we got it right. 1924. Which of the following countries has earned the most Winter Olympic
And
medals?
there was snowboarding at the 1924.
That's right. Yes. Norway. So country who's earned the most.
Okay.
Winter Olympic medals. Norway, which I think is right. Norway, Russia, Germany, or United States.
Yeah, let's go with Norway.
Let's go with Norway. It is in fact Norway. Over 400 medals.
I think they're born with skis on, right? And snowshoes.
I've never seen a Norwegian be born, so I don't know for sure.
Great point.
But
yes.
You
have your suspicions.
I have my suspicions.
Yeah.
Who out of the following athletes is the most decorated American Winter Olympian? Peekaboo
Shaun
Street.
White?
Shaun White is on here.
Okay.
Apollo Ono or Bonnie Blair? I feel fine going with Shaun White.
Let's go with Shaun White.
Okay. I think,
The Flying Tomato.
or is it Apollo Ono? Or Peekaboo Street? Okay, we'll go with Shaun White.
Yeah.
We'll go with Shaun White. It was Apollo Ono.
Ah.
Which city is the only one to have hosted both the Summer and Winter Olympics? Paris, Beijing, Los Angeles, or Atlanta? It's Beijing.
Okay, yes.
Who is the only person to win gold medals in both the Summer and Winter Olympics? Eddie Egan, Deion Sanders, Mark Spitz, or Jim Craig?
Now, it's tricky here because I'm not sure who any of those people are. So, I don't know. Pick one.
Wasn't Deion Sanders like a football player?
Yeah, don't do that one.
Don't do that one. Is Eddie Egan like Eddie the Flying Eagle that movie was made out of? Although
What did he do?
He was like a Cool Runnings type situation, but on in that he was an underdog. But
Well, then it's
he was
probably,
like
not
downhill skiing.
probably not an underdog.
Well, I don't
who
know that
wins
that's
golden.
actually him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go between Mark Spitz and Jim Craig. Mark Spitz, for whatever reason, is I'm just gonna go with Mark Spitz.
Okay, great.
Yeah, maybe it's like a Mark. To
Yeah,
Mark type
you're
thing.
hearing Mark.
It was Eddie Egan.
Oh, Eddie Egan.
Yeah, so probably not the Eddie I was thinking of. He won for both boxing and bobsled. There you go.
Odd.
Which country has
Just
the
interested
most?
in sports that start with B-O.
Which country has the most wins in ice? We've got to finish.
Okay, we will.
Most wins in ice hockey: USSR/Russia, United States, Canada, or Sweden.
My gut says Canada.
Okay, let's go with that. Oh, your gut was right.
Yes, thank you, gut.
Which of these is the newest Winter Olympic medal event? Skeleton, skimo, four-man bobsled, or ice dancing?
Did you say skimo?
Skimo. I admit I don't know what that is.
I don't know what. Let's go with skimo.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. It's right. That's
Okay,
right.
great.
Is a tough discipline that involves both climbing and skiing. Oh, I think it's the one where they like, it's a portmanteau of ski mountaineering. Where they have like these like kind of like slider things on their skis that help them track uphill, and then they remove those and ski downhill.
I like that Winter Olympics is such a like niche product that they have to be like, what else can we combine with skiing? Right? Because the biathlon is like skiing and shooting.
Right. Yeah. And they're like, let's give it a fun name. Which of these statements is true? The longest ski jump recorded is over 1,500 feet.
Okay.
No city in the southern hemisphere has ever hosted the Winter Olympics. That one, maybe. Barbados had an ice hockey team in the 2022 Winter Olympics. The youngest alpine skier to compete was only 12. what city in the Southern Hemisphere could have? I'm going to guess it's that one.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Wait, is not true or is true?
Is true. I already
that
selected it.
Okay,
It is
great.
true.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Which Winter Olympic sport consistently gets the highest viewership? Curling, grand slalom skiing, ice hockey, or figure skating? I'm
Figure
gonna say
skating.
Figure skating.
Figure skating.
Yeah.
Figure skating is like gymnastics,
Yes,
right?
yes. Lastly, where will the 2030 Winter Olympics be held? It's the French Alps.
There we go.
Okay, we got 8 out of 11 correct.
Well, that makes sense because there are 2 of us.
Yeah, that does make sense. The math checks.
The math.
out.
This is a podcast about math today. All right, we were accompanied by pianist Ji Lu. Mark, let's get into the news. That's obviously the wrong cue. That's the applause from 433.
Okay, so just a few hours after we released our news episode last week, Nintendo released their quarterly earnings for the third quarter of their fiscal year. And with that, we got some updated sales numbers, including the Nintendo Switch has officially become the best-selling Nintendo hardware ever, passing the Nintendo DS. The Switch has now sold a total of 155.37 million units compared to the 154.02 million for the Nintendo DS.
So congratulations, Nintendo Switch. That's quite the achievement. It's also the kind of thing that, like, no matter how well the Switch 2 sells, like, there's kind of no way it's going to catch that number.
Right, because the best selling
Right.
of all time is the PlayStation 2. And that's at over 160 million. And that was, I mean, we're in such different times, different economic times,
Right,
if nothing
yes.
else. So yeah, yes, but you're right. It's hard to, for Nintendo, it's like, yeah, there's really only like down to go from here.
Right. But like a worse selling console than the Nintendo Switch could still be massively successful.
100%.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, the Switch 2, since it was released in June last year, has sold 17.37 million units. And in the previous quarter, sales in Japan exceeded expectations while sales elsewhere were slightly below Nintendo's forecast. And I think we saw possibly some of that with like the November numbers from Circana in the US
Right.
were abysmal for all console sales. So that couldn't have helped. But I think the Switch 2 is still, I mean, it's still selling like better than the Switch was
At this time, yeah. But a lot of that is because they've been able to meet the demand.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
supply has been able to support the people who want to buy it. And largely, you can go into a big box store and buy a Switch 2 right now. If you
And
want
have
to.
been able to for since like 8 weeks after it launched,
Right.
basically. Even on launch day, people were able to just walk in and pick one up.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that was engineered that way, right?
For
that,
sure.
That like they didn't want all of them to go to people who pre-ordered it. Right?
Yeah, I mean that for sure was what Nintendo was saying before the Switch 2 was even revealed. They're like, we want to make a ton of these things.
Yeah.
Before it even launches. Reminder that Nintendo has a goal of 19 million Switch 2s for the fiscal year, which ends at the end of March. So seemingly they're going to be able to like meet that easily if they're currently at 17.37 million. Software wise, Mario Kart World is at 14.03 million units sold.
Pretty incredible attach rate there. And,
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people, I'm sure, were buying the bundle so that it was like packed in, but it's not like a free pack in. It's still a $50 game. Well, and it's also like, it was the first party game at launch. All due respect, of course, to Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. But well, yeah, like that was the game to get.
Yeah, totally.
With the Switch too.
And seemingly continues to be that way as people pick up Switch 2s. Donkey Kong Bonanza is at 4.25 million. Kirby Air
Which
Ride-
is good, but is not, is not like Mario numbers necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. But I think is set up well to just continue to sell, throughout the generation.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. There was, I saw graphs of sort of like the lifetime sales of Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the like first quarter it was available was, very high, and then like kind of dropped down. I'm not saying that it'll like I am sure it will be a more or less evergreen title, but like I think it had its big
For sure.
sales
And
push
I
at the
don't
beginning.
think I also don't think Donkey Kong is the marquee
Right.
character that like a obviously like a Mario or something is.
Right. But
Or even a Luigi.
it is a great game though.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Kirby Air Riders 1.76 million, already exceeding the sales of the GameCube
Pretty
game.
exciting. Yeah.
Pokemon Legends ZA 12.3 million across both Switch and Switch 2. And then finally, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was not in any of their like numbers that they released at earnings because there's a Switch 1 version and a Switch 2 version, and neither version by itself crossed 1 million units sold. And so they didn't remark on it. They didn't like have a it wasn't part of any of the numbers that they released. But some journalists did get comment from Nintendo afterwards saying that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond did sell over 1 million copies if you combine the Switch and Switch 2 versions.
Which, like for a Metroid game is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially like a Metroid game that I think had kind of a complicated reception.
Yeah.
Even though the reviews evened out to be pretty good, I felt like it was a lot of people who loved it and then a lot of people who didn't like it. And then so it evened out to like
yes.
80.
Well, and honestly, like reviews be damned, it was sort of those like initial like hands-on impression, not the initial ones from the like Switch 2 like hands-on events, but for the specific Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Yeah, the Miles McKenzie.
Everyone walked away
previews.
from it being like, this Miles guy sucks.
Yeah.
So the last time we got an update on Metroid Prime Remastered, how many of those had sold? 1.09 million. So like right in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I think it's possible it'll end up being the like second best selling Metroid game ever
Behind Dread.
Yeah, if it, but also who knows what legs of this will be like. Or
yeah, so Dread sales are 3.07 million. So like,
but I think the original Metroid Prime remastered aside is like over like right around 2 million, a little over 2 million.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know.
I will also add that like yeah, Metroid was around, like was on or for sale before Christmas, but it missed Black Friday, right? And December is like a weird time to put out a game. It also means that they only have like 4 weeks of sales data that they could be reporting here. And like the last week of the year, like everyone's kind of shut down and not doing anything anyway. So like, I don't know, it doesn't yeah, it's like 1 million units. It doesn't feel like that's the whole picture of
I
like
think that's
Metroid
right.
Prime 4's like sales journey.
Yeah, and when you put it into perspective, is that what
when
I
you
said?
put it in perspective,
it's like it just feels like Metroid is graded on a curve, anyways.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if there are signs of life with like a Metroid Prime 5 after all of the work that was put in to get Retro Studios in a place where they can like make a game
actually
like that again.
Develop this game.
Yeah.
And like 1 million copies. Well, that's pretty good.
It's not nothing.
That's pretty good for a video game.
Also, like, yeah, I mean, really, Nintendo could chalk it up to, yeah, this is what we had to invest to get Retro on its like feet again.
Yes.
In the same way that, like, what were their expectations for Alarmo? I don't know, but it seems like they got something out of it internally with the collaboration between like the systems team and the hardware team, and like in a way that they hadn't worked together before. So
now they're making Talking Flower.
Now they're making Talking Flowers, and that could be what Retro is working on next too. What will their Talking Flower be? Inquiring minds want to know. The investor Q&A with company leadership was mostly like all about rising component costs, specifically like memory prices, and how it'll affect Nintendo, how it'll affect sales of the Switch 2. When asked about the possibility of a Switch 2 price increase, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, dodged it pretty elegantly, but said that the company would, quote, carefully consider the matter while taking a comprehensive look at the state of adoption of the platform, current sales trends, costs, profitability, market environment, and other factors.
Basically saying we have nothing to announce at this time.
Right. And
but also, while saying like, but we're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. there are also questions like specifically about memory prices, and his message was basically that for like they work with vendors and like purchase a certain amount
Yeah, in advance.
in advance. So
Yeah.
they felt pretty confident for like the next fiscal year. They know what their like costs are going to be and all that kind of stuff. I think after that becomes more of a question. And there's also a question about about would you sell the hardware at a loss, which is something that Nintendo historically doesn't want to do. And he again didn't like give a specific answer, but one of the things he was saying is like, different regions have a different profitability. It's not like it's
totally.
the same across all of them. They're selling a Japan specific Switch 2 at a lower price. They are, so it's like a blend of all these different factors. And I think what he says here about I just feel like you see online that people are like, for sure Nintendo's they're gonna have to increase the price of the Switch 2. And maybe they will. I mean, we've seen the PlayStation 5 go up, we've seen multiple times, we've seen the Xbox go up multiple times, the Switch just went up. So maybe they will have to.
Well,
but
and that's the real thing, right? Is that like the Switch 2 was revealed and then like tariffs went into effect like immediately.
Yeah, literally
afterwards.
the same day, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. And Nintendo was like, well, hold on, we're gonna like reevaluate what our pricing is on everything. And the price of the Switch 2 was unchanged, right? It was all the accessories and stuff that they were like, these got to be a little bit more expensive. And then a couple weeks or months later, seeing that the Switch 1 Lite and OLED were all getting price increases, but the Switch 2 was not. So it does seem like if they do raise the price of the Switch 2, that'll be a corrective that was due months ago, right? Like that, it's they're keeping it lower than I think they are comfortable with it being right now.
And would they raise it across the board, or would they just raise it in certain territories?
Great
Which we've
question,
also
yeah.
seen, like PlayStation do. They held off on price increases in the U.S. for a really long time, but raised them. Also, for as much as we complain rightfully about how expensive like video gaming is as a hobby, it has not hurt sales of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, maybe they could be selling more if the price was lower, but they're still selling a ton of them.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that like when if it's something like this that's going to be like a fixture of your living room and like your hobby and just like how you spend your time, if it comes down to spending like $500, $600, $700 on it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, over the course of like 8 years or something.
Right.
Depending on how much you use it. But for sure, like that initial cost of entry can be a big
it's
barrier.
Right. Yes.
But
I think people just make the choice to prioritize that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes. It just feels like whatever wild ride is going to happen with Nintendo specifically, the economy in general.
Yeah, sure.
Like nobody has any clue.
Right. It could be real bad.
So yeah, I feel like everybody's counting on a price increase, but I don't know. I think that Nintendo may end up really prioritizing trying to get as many Switch 2s into houses as possible.
Yeah, which is something that we've talked about. Like for them to make continued Switch 2 software like development as like a viable thing to do, they've got to do something to close the gap between 17 and 155 million, right?
Yeah. The Pokemon 30th anniversary festivities kicked off in earnest over the weekend with the official launch of the What's Your Favorite campaign. I don't know why, but it's interesting to me that it's What's Your Favorite instead of Who's Your Favorite. But I guess
yeah, because it's not like this Pokemon that I caught, playing Sword and Shield. It's not this specific guy.
But I guess like if you're talking about dog breeds, let's just say dog breeds,
okay,
or like types of animals, because Pokemon are like types of animals. You wouldn't say who is your favorite animal, you'd say what is your favorite animal. So maybe that's
you would
why.
But who's that Pokemon is also like a construct, right? Like that phrase exists and is part of what Pokemon is. You're right. It is odd that they don't say who.
Yeah. But it kicked off. There was this.
Pokemon are also, like they are each one is like a species, but like is also a character. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a personality to a Jigglypuff.
Exactly. Well, and if it's your specific Jigglypuff, I think you would say like, "Who's a good Jigglypuff?" You wouldn't say, "What's a good Jigglypuff?"
100%.
So I guess context matters. They probably had this same conversation.
Yes.
There were probably big like conference room brawls over should it be who's your favorite, which just sounds better than versus what's your favorite. But they settled on what's your favorite. That's what the campaign is called.
That's the
Lock
campaign.
it in.
They already booked Lady Gaga for it. They can't get their deposit
Exactly.
back.
So there is a Super Bowl commercial ad featuring Lady Gaga, Trevor Noah, Jisoo, Charles Leclerc, Lamine Yamal, and other celebrities all talking about their favorite Pokemon. And Lady Gaga and Jigglypuff do a little duet together, singing the Jigglypuff song.
More of this, please.
Yeah, that was fun. Time Magazine is releasing a special edition celebrating the anniversary with 3 different covers. This is one of the ones you would see at like checkout stands where it's like the Kennedys, space,
Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And then Nintendo stores in New York and San Francisco will be holding special events on Pokemon Day, which we all know is February 27th.
Yep. So we're gearing up for something here. Possibly the reveal of the new generation of Pokemon, presumably, right? Like we got to be getting to it.
Yeah, and I was reminded today that in 2016, the 20th anniversary is when the games became available for sale on the Nintendo on the Virtual Console on the Nintendo 3DS.
Oh,
so
I mean that would be a move. They should be made available.
How will they do it though?
I don't know.
Will they do it like
just sell them?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Just sell them. Like sure, there isn't like a built-in market. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just sell them. And make it so that like you buy blue, red, and yellow, right? That it's one item, and then you can
one
pick
like
which one you want.
Generation collection or something.
Mark, I saw a little bit of chatter about the cost of Super Bowl advertisements, and that the ad time for 30 seconds is like something between like $8 and $10 million, and this Pokemon ad was a full minute long, so that it is likely that just airing the commercial cost the Pokemon company $20 million, which is more than the budget to develop Pokemon Legends ZA.
Beautiful.
Isn't that great? That's even before you pay Trevor Noah.
Yeah, that's right. That's so funny. Okay, last week when we were doing our rundown of the partner showcase, did we give short shrift to a game called Another Eden Begins in our discussion?
If we did, it's because it was in the sizzle reel.
It was in the sizzle reel. I wasn't familiar with it at all. It wasn't on my radar until Meisei Ace in the Discord mentioned that it's written by Masato Kado, who is the writer of Chrono Trigger and director of Chrono Cross. Also features music by Yasunori Matsuda, who contributed music to Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Also, Kato is at least one of the directors on this game as well.
So it seems like there's a pedigree here.
More features time travel heavily in the narrative.
A connection to Chrono Trigger.
There's a frog with a sword that is a cursed human.
Yes.
And the frog's name is Cyrus.
Now, this part of Chrono Trigger, there's a character named Frog who is a frog, whose like best friend when he was a human was named Cyrus.
Yes. They know what they're doing.
They must.
Yeah. So this was originally a free-to-play turn-based RPG that originally released on mobile in Japan in 2017. And from what I can tell, pretty good reviews. Didn't have a lot of like gotcha elements or anything like that. This new version includes 18 possible companions, full English voiceover, revamped combat, and 10 alternate endings. So I don't know. This is one I feel like to keep an eye on, right? Is it like a Chrono Trigger kind of like pseudo sequel?
I mean, it feels like it kind of is. I will say, the look of the frog character is not as compelling as Frog,
Sure.
which is just to say, characters not designed by Akira Toriyama look a little less good than characters designed by Akira Toriyama.
Right.
Which I think we all knew.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
We'll keep an eye.
yes,
Yeah.
keep an eye.
Keep an eye. Comes out this summer.
Should I try to read the plot summary? Has a bunch of names in here that
No.
okay, yeah. Pass.
I think no. I
Yeah.
think no.
It may not surprise you that there's a young character, his sister, they're enjoying a peaceful life in a village. Bad guy takes the sister. He's like going through time to save his sister.
Very good.
Yep. Could a new Xenoblade Chronicles game be on the way this year? There is a website called Spotlight where voice actors can basically like kind of post their resumes, and like casting directors and stuff can use it to find people to cast. Anyways, the Spotlight page of voice actor Caitlin Thorburn, who voiced multiple roles in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, has reportedly been updated to reference a Xenoblade Chronicles project due out in 2026.
Interesting. Is there any possibility that this is a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 definitive edition?
Right, or like a Switch 2 edition or something.
Yeah. Because, the original Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out in the first year of the Switch's life cycle, which means it's almost a decade old at this point. And would there be interest in like revitalizing that as a, but it's also like the game is already playable on Switch and therefore Switch 2. So it's kind of like,
What could a Switch 2 edition bring to it?
really bring to
rather
it.
than, I guess, like enhanced performance or something. So I think Xenoblade Chronicles has sneakily become like a almost every year / every other year thing for
Oh.
Nintendo. Because looking at it, so putting the first one aside, because there was a while before we got like a sign of life after the first one.
When you say the first one, you mean like the original
Xenoblade Chronicles, so 2010.
Okay.
And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3D and Xenoblade Chronicles X Cross. I can't remember what we ended up calling
It's
that
X,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Comes out in 2015.
Okay.
Then in 2017, you get 2.
Right.
Then in 2018, the expansion to 2, Torn of the
Mhm.
Golden Country. Then 2 years later, 2020, definitive edition of the first game. 2 years later, 2022, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then in 2025, you get X definitive
Right.
edition.
So it's like every 2 to 3 years, basically. Right?
Yeah, like every 1 to 2 years, I would say.
Okay.
So maybe like 2026 would be soon.
That
Plus
would be
they
quick,
have
yeah.
Fire Emblem,
They do,
which
yes.
feels like a lot of. I mean, I guess they're not really the same type of game, but just feels like a lot of that.
No, like Fire Emblem is the kind of game that I play, and Xenoblade is the kind of game that I don't play.
That you buy, but
Well, sometimes. I didn't buy 3 or X.
Did you buy 2?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And 1 definitive edition.
yeah, that's right.
I did
okay,
buy
that's
both those games.
2. That's
That's
not
that's
that
only
many.
half.
Yeah, that's not that many. Anyways, yeah, what could this be? What could this be?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe yeah.
Maybe Nintendo Pictures is working on another short
There we go.
Close to you,
close
too.
you. Yeah.
in the Xenoblade Chronicles.
I
And we
wish-
see the Pikmin are in the Xenoblade
Right.
Chronicles universe.
Which may get me to play it. They certainly get me to buy it. It makes me wish that I knew more, or at least knew enough about Xenoblade Chronicles to make a close to you like joke, but with like the name of a Xenoblade character. Close to Mia. Is that anything? Is that her name? Probably not.
Close to
Noah
Shulk?
and- Shulk is one for sure. Noah and Mia, is that the name?
Oh,
of
are
the-
those the amiibo?
I have those amiibo.
That's right. There are 2 ways to get you to buy a Xenoblade Chronicles thing. Put Pikmin in it.
Right. Or make it an amiibo. Right.
Yeah. Or that used to be true.
Yeah, now we don't know anymore.
Now we don't know. Borderlands 4 Switch 2 development has been paused indefinitely, but not canceled.
I don't know.
Yet.
I'm ready to play taps for
I
this
feel
thing.
like
I
this
think
is-
it's out.
This is becoming. I mean, I guess it got further along than Steep ever did, that like Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
But this
sure.
does feel like a little bit like Switch 2 Steep, where it's announced at the beginning
Yep.
and then quietly just kind of like put to rest. So in Take-Two's latest earnings results, the Switch 2 version was removed from the release schedule. And then a spokesperson told Variety that the, quote, difficult decision had been made, and that Gearbox was instead focusing on delivering, quote, quality post-launch content for players on the ongoing improvements to optimize the game, end quote.
Whew.
Yeah, like when they
I
originally...
don't think that doesn't bode well, I don't think.
I don't think so either. When they originally delayed it, they were saying stuff like, oh, we'll wait until cross save is available and like all that kind of stuff. I wonder if there's a contractual obligation because it was like such an early Nintendo Switch 2 like announcement
interesting.
and like promotional thing, that I wonder if there's some contract thing in there that they have with Nintendo that they can't cancel it. They maybe someday have to deliver it, but
Right,
they
but
can
a
play
real
loose with
skull and bone situation.
with what that ends up meaning. Yeah.
Take that, Ubisoft just catching strays left and right here. I mean it's a bummer for people who like Borderlands 4 and wanted to play it on Switch 2. But it's I don't know. I mean they already took the hit of having to cancel all of the pre-orders, right?
Right.
Which is a huge deal, and it's kind of like you already took the hit, like just stop pretending you're going to put this game out.
Right. That's what makes me think that they're, I mean, also that this could be their way of doing it, right?
Totally.
We're just like never going to talk about it ever again. But the fact that but also, maybe there is some sort of like contractual thing that they're on the hook for.
Yeah.
That they still have to figure out how to wriggle out of.
And given enough time that they will successfully do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Finally, will we be able to play Virtual Boy games on our Labo VRs?
You're saying our and pluralizing Labo VRs as though we both bought it. Mark, it was just you.
Yeah, I did just buy it. Well, first let me put the news item in. At a recent preview event, apparently a Nintendo Treehouse staff member told GamesBeat that the answer is yes, you would be able to play Virtual Boy on your Labo VR. But Nintendo later released a statement saying that the Labo VR goggles are in fact not officially supported.
Right.
So maybe it's not officially supported, but it still works.
Or still works like well enough.
Right.
We don't know. We have not gotten hands-on with the Virtual Boy app for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
But it is unclear exactly how much of like the actual Switch screen the Virtual Boy screens take up, and whether they are in the same proportion as the images being displayed on the Labo VR, right? So it could just be that like it's using a smaller portion of the screen or a larger portion of the screen,
right?
And it's just like not aimed at the exact same thing with the lenses that are built into either the Labo VR set or the Virtual Boy headset. So like it may kind of work, but just not exactly. I think is basically what they're driving at.
Or like maybe because they don't have the red lenses, whatever those do, that they're like, no, that's
the
not
red
official
lenses that
then.
you need to take out. If you want to change the color
They're
sometime
like,
in the future when they get that technology.
If it doesn't come with the lens, we don't count it as official.
Yes.
So
could also just be that they're like, that wasn't our plan, so no, it's not officially supported.
Yeah. Next week, Virtual Boy is happening. I wonder if they will ship out.
Kind of hoping they do ship them out early,
because so they arrive on the 17th.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I mean because otherwise it's like, what's the point if like we're actually living in a world where there are no officially supported ways to play the game library?
Right.
Why bother releasing the game library?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would hope that we get our Virtual Boys in our hands before the library.
The
goes
website
live.
says that it ships on the 17th, but I also am
like that.
hopeful that. I mean, but they shipped Switch 2s early, so
That's
they showed
true.
up at people's
Yeah.
houses. So that's my hope. And this is way less precious
No,
than
they're
that.
taking it just as seriously as the Switch 2 launch. They know.
Okay, so my second part of this
Yeah.
is I do remember buying the Labo VR set, so that way we could put it together and then play it for a little bit and do an episode about it many moons ago. But
One of the rare episodes that we had to record twice because at first we were just too negative about it.
yeah, no,
We're
it's
like, this
true.
isn't fun.
It's true. I don't know where it is. In fact, I really have a hard time believing that I would have just thrown it away. Are you positive that you don't have
Oh, that's
the put together Labo VR?
No, I'm not positive.
Yeah.
I might because I have like 2 big boxes that have completed Labo sets in them, and they just straight made the move from the apartment to the new house, and without me even going through them, because I was like, if I start like down this road of like I could throw this out,
Right.
then the whole thing goes, and I could not do that.
Yeah, so maybe I own it. Like I bought it, but I feel like I probably left it with you.
I'll investigate. The boxes are easily accessible. I can check.
But it's also possible I brought it back and then I've either threw it away when I moved,
Right.
lost it when I moved, or it's at my house somewhere and I just don't know where it is. All those are possibilities. Because who would have ever thought that I could have possibly had an unofficial way to play Virtual Boy games?
And this is
With that
why.
thing.
This is why
That's why you don't throw anything away.
Throw anything away
Yeah.
or sell your old Nintendo stuff. You just keep it. Right?
What a tragedy it would be if we don't.
You buy the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom Switch Lite to never open the box, because someday you might be able to play Virtual Boy games on it.
Yeah.
We don't know.
This is a curveball nobody could have seen coming.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. Okay, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, you should be in our Discord if you're not already. Email us, nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com. I'll send you an invitation. You can get in there. You can talk with us about who the third most important alien character is in Star Wars. Or, Resident Evil Remake, a game that we're playing and talking about this week. Get in there. It's a great time. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.